Hey everyone, and welcome to the Truck King YouTube channel and the next installment of Truck Life. In this series, we meet real pickup truck owners and we get their stories. Why'd they buy their truck, how long have they had it, and how has it been? In this episode, we're going to talk about this unique 2018 Ford F-150, and we're going to meet its owner, Jay. Now, if you have a truck and you'd like to be featured on the series, reach out to us, hey@truckking.ca, and we'd love to feature your truck. Right now, let's jump into this episode.
Good morning, Jay.
Good morning, Howard.
Welcome to our latest episode of Truck Life. And today we've got something really quite unique. And it's interesting because I'm looking at your setup here and I'm thinking to myself, man, you know, people have been camping for a long time. However, this is something that we're calling overlanding. So tell us about overlanding.
Well, that's a hard topic. You know, I guess when I look at overlanding myself, I think of world travel. So I'm just touring right now. But you know, I have this set up, got this set up with the idea that someday I could pack it into a 20-foot shipping container and ship it around the world. So, so that's kind of the idea. This is the North American version of that short overland vehicle. So you have enough space to live out of, but you have a vehicle that's short enough to get through, you know, trails or crest a dune in the Sahara Desert. You know, it's got a wheelbase and a breakover angle that can get you anywhere. But yeah, you have everything you need to live, right? You have a fridge and you have a stove and some prep area to cook and area to stand inside and room to, I mean, if you wanted to, you can move the stove inside and cook in the rain. There is also a room that can go on here that allows you to seat 4 people or do your work outside when it's raining, or in the hot sun you can flip the wall up and make a, you know, kind of a covered area. So yeah, just gives us the space. And the Ford's really well set up for this. You know, a lot of the companies used to make these short trucks, but most of them don't sell them now in North America. So, but I like the, you know, the step on the Ford was a big thing, because a lot of people, you know, I've got a bunch of gear out here on the ground, but a lot of people put a box on the ground and they leave it there overnight. And, you know, what if somebody absconds with it overnight, right? So
Big furry bear.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, so you never know. But anyway, I just like this. This is really well set up for, you know, the platform for carrying the weight. So it's basically the same as a heavy-duty payload package, except it didn't come with the heavy-duty rear springs. It has the heavy-duty rear axle.
Okay, let me cut you off. Before we keep talking about the truck, tell me about this tent, man. I want to hear everything about the tent and the setup. We'll get back to the truck, I promise.
Okay, so the you know, the tent system is made by a company, I think they're out of Arizona, called AT Overland. Okay. They're I think they started life as a trailer company. They made overland trailers. And this came out in 2018. So this is called a habitat. So it flips open and you sleep here, you know, you sleep in this area here and you can stand in the main area. Actually, there's enough room there that I can't touch the ceiling. So if I want to put a raised floor in it, I could, and still be able to stand and have no issues. So.
And how does this actually fix onto the truck? Just a couple bolts, or what?
Yeah, it's bolted down. There's 5 bolts on each side that go through.
Okay.
And yeah, that's it. You basically set it on and bolt it down, and it's there kind of for good, right?
Very cool.
Yeah.
And then everything else in the bed is all custom, right? That's stuff that you built or had built?
No, I didn't have it built. I bought it from a fellow who built it.
Got it.
So yeah, I know a nice gentleman in kind of down near Cornwall, and he had it in a power wagon. So I bought the system from him, and we switched it over in his barn. He nice facility there to do it. And I've been through, you know, northern Quebec, and you know, this trip it's northern Ontario. I bought this about a month ago. So I spent some time in Nova Scotia. We got some family property there that's, you know, you have to you need 4-wheel drive to get into. So, and but this will kind of get you anywhere. So, you know, we'll get into the truck again later. The truck basically is is designed to take me anywhere I want to go. But the idea here is in the front, there's a National Luna makes a battery system. So there's a system there that it's wired through to the truck. And so all this, the fridge and everything will run for a couple of days with, you know, I don't have to plug in or do any of that stuff.
So basically between the 12 volt and then of course you got propane.
Yeah.
You're independent.
Yeah, you can go anywhere and stay anywhere, and realistically, I mean, people see it, they want to come talk to you. So the worst thing is pulling into a campground, because you get a whole bunch of people walking by, they all come down and they all want to talk to you. You spend half your night talking to people about the camper system. So,
which is another good reason it's good to camp in the bush.
That's right. So when you go to the bush, you can sit down and, you know, have a pop and have a fire and enjoy your night, right, by yourself. So
now I'm assuming you can also adapt solar panels to this setup if you wanted to.
Yeah, I have a solar panel that plugs in, that you can aim and maybe bring away from the vehicle. So ideally, you know, it's nice sometimes to be in the shade, but then you put your solar panels in the shade. So with a lead, you can bring this solar panel out and set it up and yeah, still get some power. So if you want to stay 3 or 4 days in one spot, you could, right?
Well, actually, it's going to be very cool to see. I mean, of course, now we're looking at it open, and it's very obvious as to how it all works, but I'm going to be very curious if we button it all up to see how big that package is.
Yeah, that's the other kind of neat part about it, is it is quite small. It's a little tall, right? But you know, it doesn't come out over the back like a lot of truck campers do, which can infringe on your ability to tow stuff. So this is still cut straight off. So if I wanted to tow a 10,000 pound Airstream, I could do it, right? So if you wanted to do overlanding and you wanted to make some money on the side, you know, you could go and overland and head towards Indiana and then pick up a trailer and deliver it to Toronto and get paid some money, and then overland to Northern Ontario and then pick up, you know, maybe a load of stuff that needed to go to Alberta and then drive it out there and drop that trailer, and then, you know, you could overland in that area.
Sure,
so
well, it sounds like you've got a business in mind right there.
Well, it's just options, right?
Sure.
You know, for those of us that were around, that were Boy Scouts, right, you'd be prepared.
That's it.
So the idea is I have everything I need to stay. I don't like, I'm not what you'd call hardcore. So I spend a night or two in the camper. I usually end up in a hotel somewhere. And like, you know, like we were talking about earlier, I'm doing some consulting work and I'm traveling. I need to travel to do it. And so I'm making some money on the road while I'm out here doing this anyway. So, but this setup gives me options, right?
All right. Well, let's button her up and let's see what it looks like when we put it all back together.
Sounds good.
Cool. First off, Jay, one of the cool things is that in a year of our trucking YouTube channel, this is the first regular cab truck that we've had, and that of course brings up a whole host of questions, because this at one time, I'm old enough to know that this was the truck, regular cabs.
Yeah.
Of course today it's mostly crew cab. Nevertheless, you've got a regular cab here in a very interesting configuration, so just give us the blow by blow. How'd you get this truck? How'd you get it built?
Well, at the time I was working for a dealer, and I was wanting to order one, and I thought I'd wait kind of close to the end of the year, but I didn't realize at the time that they build these in groups in the factory floor. So by the time I wanted to order mine, I couldn't order it. So I had to go looking for one. So we dealer traded it with another dealer. This dealer brings in one of these every year. So this is like a heavy duty package. It's a snowplow package, and we found it, and it's got the 5 liter. For me, it needed a bunch of things. It needed to have rubber floors. I wanted the 373s. It had to have a locking rear axle. So I wanted the FX4 package. It needed to have a rear step. So when I went out there looking for all that stuff, this was one of about 3 trucks in Canada that were out there. And this one was kind of unique in the 80s. In 1981, my father had a Bronco in this color. And this is pretty similar to that old style Bronco.
So what year is this truck now?
This is a 2018. So,
Okay.
and I bought it, well, we picked it up late in 2018 and we closed the deal in January of 2019. So yeah, and it's been a fabulous truck. We've had the kind of the scares that go along with it. Everybody is talking about the 5-liter Burns oil. Well, I thought we had that oil consumption issue. We dealt with it a bunch of different ways. It was still burnt oil, and trick was we just put synthetic oil in it, and it doesn't burn oil anymore. So the issue is the 5-liter motor is a 12-to-1 compression engine. So any oil that seeps past the rings is going to burn under. It ignites under compression before the spark. So anyway, now I can run it the full 16,000 kilometers and never have to touch the oil. It's not down even a quarter of a liter. So
let me ask you about the regular cab again, because let's face it, you're going against popular culture today. More than 50% are crew cabs, and pretty much the other 39.5% are some version of a club cab, extended cab, or whatever they want to call it. And really, where do you see regular cabs today? On the side of the road with guys working in construction.
Yeah.
So what made you sort of, swim against the tide and want a regular cab?
Well, there's a whole bunch of reasons. I guess.
Give me the top one.
Well, I can't really say the top one. The top three would be this is what a truck really is. It's what it always has been. I think that the 4-door trucks are now the new sedan. Off-road, it's breakover angle and ground clearance and turning circle and all that stuff that I want. Then there's also the idea that I don't want to drag 4 or 5 people around with me when I go off in my truck. This is just for me, maybe me and my wife.
So you're antisocial.
I'm a little bit antisocial,
Okay,
I mean, this is my toy. The other part of it is it's less money and it's less weight, and that gives me more payload. And there's just a million reasons, I guess, why.
Well, that's an interesting point right there. So what is your payload on this truck?
Well, that's another interesting question. The way they come from the factory with 4-ply tires on them, the payload on this one is right around 1,700 pounds. When you upgrade the wheels and stuff, there's 9,100 pounds of axle capacity here. So in theory, it could be 4,500 pounds, but I mean, it's not a realistic number. I ran it last year with 2,400 pounds on it with a truck camper on it, and it just drove like a dream. So I'm 1,200 pounds lighter than that this year, so lots of payload. But with the system that I have here, the way it's set up, I feel I can still tow my 10,000 pound max tow rating that it was rated for. And that being said, that number is down strictly because it came with 4-ply tires on it.
Now I neglected to ask what the overlanding rig weighs.
I think the way I have it set up with water and propane and the dual battery system and the fridge, and I'm probably around 1,200 pounds. That system that's from the bed up is just under 400 pounds. So the rest of it's the system that's on the floor plus my gear plus whatever else, right? Water and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you've also done some very specific modifications to this truck, right?
Yeah, well, we bought it, with that snowplow package, which gives you the heavy-duty 240 amp alternator and an 810 CCA AGM battery. So, but now we have the dual battery system, which is a National Luna system, and so I can link the two of them together. If I want to put a winch on it, I can use both batteries together to winch and stuff like that. But we also put the Torsen front differential in it when I bought it. So if you buy a truck from Ford, if you go to the Ford Performance Parts catalog, you can find that part number and you can order it in, and they can install it before you take possession, and you get warranty on the part. Where a lot of people go out and they buy a $90,000 rig and they put you know, some other brand's locker in there, and they've just, you know, they've just kind of disqualified their warranty on the axles, right?
So this way you've got a front locker and a rear locker on this truck.
Yeah, and a lot of people will comment, you know, that's not a real locker, but I mean, when you've used them and you understand how they work and you read about, you know, there's actually a theory called the locking theory of worm gears. And so, you know, that originally it was called a locker. It was called a torque sensing locker. And, you know, they were in the Hummer. They call it the military, you know, booklets call them lockers. So I still call them a locker. I know that another company got the brand name on locker. So, and now you're not allowed to call it a locker, but anyway, it really is.
So tell us about the tires, because I noticed that they're not what you had the last time we saw this truck.
Yeah, no, I had 17-inch wheels, which is what it came with, and they're only rated for 1,850 pounds. So these are rated for 2,400 pounds per wheel. So I upgraded to the 18-inch wheel, and then these are a 10-ply Firestone MT2. And they've been a fabulous tire. They got about 25,000 kilometers on them. They're still as deep as most tires are new. So anyway, and that's a 34.3 inch tire, wow, which is basically, it's 295/70 18, but so it's a little narrower, say, than a Raptor tire, but it's basically the exact same height, right? A lot of people call them a 35, but I don't. It's to me, it's a 34.
Yeah,
you know,
you got a lot of sidewall there. How are they for noise on the highway?
With the windows down, they're noisy, but the F-150 comes with, you know, that insulated dual pane glass on the sides and the back and everything. So, like a windshield, so it's pretty quiet inside. Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, I mean, you talked about reliability. Any other issues? You mentioned the oil burning. Besides that, it's all been good?
It's all been good. And realistically, the oil burning thing is a misconception. People are putting conventional oil in a high performance engine. You know, that's the only real reason. So, but other than that, no, I haven't had any issues. And it's just been, yeah, straightforward oil changes and tire rotations, and that's it.
How many kilometers do you have on it now?
53, I think.
Okay.
53,000.
So she's still a baby.
Yeah, still a baby.
Well, Jay, unless you have something else to add, I think it might be time to head off-road and hit the trails. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Okay, let's go show off that Torsen differential. Okay, so we're gonna walk through our ruts here now, our offset ruts, to see especially how this Torsen front differential works. So I wonder how much you're gonna get. So your rear is totally lifting up now. Now the rear is gonna start to struggle.
You can see that now when I press the brake.
Come on, baby. Come on. It's also pretty muddy out here today, so you're fighting the mud. Yes, now it's doing its thing. Oh, that was very cool. And so the rear end was doing nothing there. You could feel the front clawing, pulling us through. There it was again. I love that you actually kind of hear it engaging too, huh?
Yeah, and realistic, like when you're going slow like this, it'll open, and you just touch the brake and it locks back up.
Interesting.
So it's locked there now because I'm riding that brake.
Gotcha. Very cool. So you're left foot braking just a little bit, and like you're saying, that's helping to lock up that Torsen.
Yeah, that's all you have to do is you just have to. When they're kind of lightly rubbing on each other, nothing happens. But as soon as you put a little brake on, the wheel that's turning the most, that's spinning the most, will lock.
Sure.
And that'll engage it, and it'll push itself. Yeah.
Beautiful.
The front Torsens have a different angled design than a rear Torsen, so they have to allow for more slip so that when you get like this and turn, that it doesn't bind.
Sure,
right?
Exactly, lock it up.
So, and that's the great thing about it. Like if I was climbing a set of switchbacks, if you were driving a truck with a manual locker,
we're gonna go back out.
We're gonna go back out.
Yes, sir.
So.
Yeah, you might want to go back there.
I can't go. I was gonna can't go into the trees.
I mean, yeah, you can go that way. It just might be a little skinny for you. Yeah, I don't want you to get too much trail rash.
But yeah, when you if you were climbing a hill, you have to let off the gas, disengage the front locker, wait till it unlocks,
Sure.
then get on the power again and go around the corner, right? Where this, you just go.
Okay, it's left hook time. We're on our way. All right, Jay, well,
turning left.
that's the left hook right there, buddy. That's where it gets its name from. So right here, we hook a left. Now, this is the first time we've actually had a real set of mud terrains out here. So I'm very curious to see how they feel. So right now, you're just 4 low, nothing locked up.
Right.
Oh yeah, the clearance is great here. Do you know what your gone clearance is with the larger tires?
Depends how you measure it. I don't know, it's 11.5 or something like that at the diff.
Yeah.
But it's 15.5 inches at the frame, halfway between the axles.
Yeah.
So, and it's almost 15 inches at the front diff.
Wow.
So yeah, you get good amount of travel, but nobody, in a book, nobody tells you that your ground clearance is 15 inches. They always measure it by the diff.
Sure, sure. You know, lowest point, that is fair, and even 11 inches, over 11 at your lowest point is pretty dang good, man.
Yeah.
I have not ridden in a lot of vehicles with rooftop tents, and I've never been off-road in one. You feel the weight up there, you know, you do feel that you have the higher center of gravity. It's not sketchy feeling to my butt yet, but I definitely feel it up there.
Yeah, you can feel that it's there. It's not overwhelming. Like
it's certainly not.
The camper system that I had on before was overwhelming.
Yeah. Okay, we got the thumbs up. So you're 4 low, rear end locked.
Yeah.
Let's see how she does, man.
We're just gonna try and crawl it as slow as we can and see what we get out of it.
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, yeah, you're riding up the ruts now, so she'll probably drop in. Nice. And we're slowly digging out a monster rock over here. You should climb up it right there. Beautiful. Okay, this is the hole we were stuck in 2 weekends ago in the ZR2. Right there. Yeah, we dug out up here. You felt her slide there. Nice. So yeah, maybe try to cheat driver's side a little bit.
You see my... There's my center.
Oh, baby, come on, come on, come on. Little dig.
Well, I'm hooked on my rear axle.
Nicely done. You're gonna have to hit her a little. Come on, baby. Give us that power. It's slick in here, man. Yes, 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 yes. So this doesn't help me to say it to you now, but that tree will be removed soon. That tree is always in the way. You probably would have had it if it weren't for that tree that time. Now you might need straight back, yeah? Okay, there you go. Now let's see how it'll crawl the rocks. Especially you're a little caked up.
That makes it slimy.
Come on, MTs. Yeah, no, I mean, our Ontario mud here is so greasy. But you keep spinning. Hopefully they'll shed some mud. Yes, yes, yes. Climb, baby. Yes. Hell yeah. Well, nicely done, dude. I guess what we have proved is still momentum is key.
Momentum's key.
Nicely done.
But yeah, man, you still made it through. You just worked your way through. Beautifully done. That torsion is really awesome. I love that it's, you know, no buttons to press, nothing to touch, and you just feel that front end clawing. And I felt like they had to shed some mud there. Like after you spun a bit and we got some mud out of the tread, then it grabbed on those rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. And yeah, like I said, I thought you handled her pretty well. I gotta tell you, I expected a little more out of the mud terrain than what we got, but like usual, like I said, you know, I think momentum is really key regardless of your tire.
Yeah, and that was kind of my thought. Was I was wanting to crawl it as slow as I could just to see what I would get out of it.
Sure.
But I wasn't really thinking that when I got stuck that I wouldn't be able to back up fully.
No,
so
that's true.
I couldn't back up to where I could get momentum and start over again.
So we're gonna try the hill descent.
Yeah. So
that's always the weirdest moment, the lift off the brake and having to trust the system.
well, the Ford system works based on the last speed you were going when you let off your brake.
Got it.
Where, say, like BMW, you can set it with your cruise control.
A lot of them have the buttons, yeah. It's nice and smooth. No ABS, no weird noises.
A little bit, but yeah, no.
Well, that was really cool, man. I mean, you know, my big kind of gut takeaway on this truck is you looked at the Ford catalog and you came up with a super cool off-road package that was not meant to be a super cool off-road package. You know, they didn't say this is what we want for the hardcore off-road overland guy, but you kind of found this nice mix and a couple of mods, you know, tires, suspension, and you're laughing.
Well, yeah, and when I did it, when I built this way, this was previous, prior to the Tremor, even the Tremor Super Duty even being announced. So, but this is what I think the new Tremor should be. They should be doing an F-150 Tremor, regular cab, short bed, with all the stuff. Like, I wish I had trail turn assist on this.
Yes.
I wish I had the over, the switches.
Yeah, the auxiliary switches.
Yeah, and if they offered that, I would sell this and buy that.
Yeah,
right?
Totally, man.
But other than that, I have everything else.
Yeah. And we were talking about this off camera. You know, the sad truth of trucks today is everyone wants a crew cab, right? Everyone's got kids, I guess, and they all need to haul the family, so everyone's just going, crew cab only, which, is definitely a bit of a shame when you see how good this thing is and how cool it looks.
Yeah, well, I think a company like Ford, they realize that they need halo vehicles. They build the GT. They have the GT 500 Mustang. They have the Raptor. They're building the Sasquatch Broncos. I think this is a market that they don't.
Stopping.
I just want to get a shot of the cloud of mosquitoes behind the truck.
It was pretty bad when I got out. Yeah, I mean, I can see them from here, man. It is a swarm back there.
See, nobody has this lightweight vehicle with high capacity, overland specific design, where Ford could build that with this.
Totally.
And totally close out that Land Cruiser market. Like, who wants to spend 80 or 90 grand? In Canada, it's 120 grand.
Yeah, it's insane.
And cut a vehicle in half.
Totally.
When you can buy this for $40,000 or $50,000.
Yeah, I totally hear you. Actually, to that end, what did you pay for this truck? I'm not sure you mentioned yet.
Well, I was working at the dealer, so I got an extra $1,000 off. But other than that, I paid right around 40, almost 41, 40,800 or something like that.
Okay.
And that was with the diff done, right? So
that's cool.
But now, like I say, I've upgraded the tires and the wheels, and I even did like a fifth exact same. So underneath, I don't have a steel wheel with a 32-inch tire. I got the exact same as what's
beautiful.
on it.
Yeah, that's what you need, man. That's cool. And did you consider EcoBoost at all, or was 5-liter V8 what you wanted?
No, yes, I did consider it. I couldn't get it.
Gotcha.
I wanted the 2.7.
Gotcha.
It's faster and much better on fuel. You get another 100 to 150 kilometers on a tank of fuel.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted. But when I found this with the heavy-duty rear axle and all the stuff that it came with, I decided that I would take this. But if I was ordering, I was going to order a 2.7.
Gotcha.
So I really love that motor.
Yeah, I like the little EcoBoost too. Well, Jay, it's been a while since we met up for TFL Off-Road and I did the interview with you about this truck. Since then, you've added a lot of cool stuff, and I think you made it even more capable. So I guess the question I like to ask once we're all said and done off-roading is, what did you learn about your truck today?
Well, I learned that wet tires are slippery.
That's very true.
Muddy tires. But yeah, no, it did basically what I thought it was going to do. And that's kind of what I built it for. I mean, it's built as a, quote, overland rig. I use it for touring in Canada. And the idea is takes me where I want to go. I don't do that stuff on a regular basis, but if I needed to, I know that it can, right? Yeah. It's about having the capability, the old Boy Scout thing, be prepared.
Yeah.
And so this does it. And yeah, mainly it's highway miles, but when I need to, I can.
You can.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it, Jay.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming out today, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
really
and then to all the other truck owners out there, if you got a cool truck like Jay, we want to see it. So email us at hey@trucking.ca. And then of course go below, leave us a comment, let us know what you think about this beauty F-150. And as always, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member of the channel, and then come right back here to Truck King to see what we're testing next. See you guys.